Thank you.
As mentioned, I've built startups. Some of them were failures. Majority were failures. Some of them were success. And I exited in the past. And I continue building new businesses. And we thought, with the discussion with Ignite, we thought that it's a good idea to do something new and to introduce a new framework. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to go through the framework. But what I've done, I'm building this concept called Numo. Numo means grow in Arabic. And it's a personal development application that will house the whole framework, and anyone can go and download it and use it. All right, so today I'll start with a brief introduction, and then we'll talk about the importance of resilience in entrepreneurship, how to develop a growth mindset, and I'll give you some strategies for building your resilience. Some of it you might know, some of it most likely you don't. So I think, prepare a pen and a paper and be ready to take some notes. We will be doing some exercises, so stay tuned. And then we'll have about 25 minutes or so, mainly for Q&A. All right, so about me, I'm a father of two, and my wife is pregnant. So there's a third one joining the family. I'm from Abu Dhabi as well. I'm an investment banker by career, worked across coverage, wealth management, custody even. I hold an MBA, a BA from International Relations from the United States and an MBA from INSEAD. I'm also a certified investment fund director and a certified NED. I'm a four-time founder, and I'm preparing now to be a personal development coach. I'm a boat captain, so there is some fun into me. I'm a boat captain. I have a boat license, and I do love going to the beach during the summer. I also work out, like 90% of people in the UAE, but I'm also into nutrition. I actually own
Hey, Amro, you there?
I'm not sure. Are we still on? Because I think I got disconnected.
Yeah, you're on now. I can hear you now. All good.
Okay. Where did I lose you?
Nutrition expert.
Okay, so not that. Okay. Yeah. So I own a nutrition and health supplement store, e-commerce store as well. So that talks more about my hobbies. Now let's dig deep now into the importance of resilience and entrepreneurship. We need to first identify or define what is resilience. And it's basically the ability to adapt to change positively, recover from difficulties, and persist in facing challenges. So really, you build resilience by going through traumas or going through challenges in life. And the more challenges you go through, the more resilient you become. Okay. And then what is the definition of adaptability? Is the ability to learn and apply that knowledge across situations. So you face a challenge, you learn new skills to help yourself to get out of that challenge, whatever the challenge is. Let's say, losing your job, for example, or facing a disaster in your business. You end up, your survival nature pushes you to learn new skills, network, build relationships, to try to get out and resolve that challenge. So you've learned something new. Now, how do you adapt to that challenge? Is by using and applying that knowledge to across different situations. So that's what adaptability means. Okay, now just some of the challenges faced by founders, which is felt across the board, self-doubt, financial management, work-life balance, raising money, navigating legal and regulatory requirements, finding and retaining talents. And from majority of the founders that I speak to, it's more or less the same. But I think one of the key areas and one of the key reasons for facing challenges in the first place is the business that you're doing, or is the startup concept that you're doing, is aligned with your values, is aligned with why are you here to, and what are you here to deliver. And that's a topic that we can discuss later. But in any case, if you definitely face challenges in your business, but if it's aligned with your energy, if it's aligned with your purpose in life, then you won't face as much challenges. It will be going a lot smoother. Now, what's the role of resilience in overcoming those challenges? So it helps you to keep a positive mindset. It helps you adapt. It helps you manage or regulate your emotions. It also enhances your problem-solving skills. It helps you learn from experience. It helps you become persistent. It affects self-efficacy, and of course, makes you more keen to go out of your day-to-day routine and your comfort zone and seek help. It also teaches you how to be focused and helps you to manage stress better. Okay, now the fun part. Strategies for building resilience. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things. Some of them include, for example, what are the habits that we have and how can we make them success habits or positive habits? What are some blocks that we need to overcome and how to overcome them? The insecurities that we usually face and what can we do about it? Committing to a change is something that we will cover today, and other techniques that we will introduce, or I will introduce during this presentation. Okay, now one thing to keep in mind, and this, if anything from any of the slides, this is the most important one, is that accepting what you can't change. Because we usually feel helpless and powerless when we're faced with what we can't control. So we need to draw a line to accept the inevitable. Okay? How do we do this? So we do this by focusing on what we control. Okay, so how do we do it? It's so simple. You just get a piece of paper, you list all your concerns, or whatever emotion that, or whatever is making you feel emotional and stressed all the time, just list them down, and then a piece of paper, assign whatever you can't control in the outer sphere, and put whatever you can control inside the small circle. Okay, and most of your time you should focus on what you can control. Don't worry about what you cannot control. So don't stress out on the economy or your competition or whatever. Just focus on what you can control.
Amro, sorry to interrupt. Someone in the comments is asking if you could hide that little Teams message at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Managing stress. So, there are circumstances where we feel super stressed. Someone kind of gets the best out of us, or some situation that happens with us. But keep in mind that, there is a way to do it, and you need to short circuit those feelings of fear and doubt and anxiety. And remember that where you are today and what you've achieved so far in your life, your skills, your strength, your network, your past experience, you are someone of importance, irrelevant of your situation. Yeah. So immediately short circuit any of those feelings. Something that I personally believe in is, you know, we are created to rule. We are created to rule, and everything is created for us, right? And this is inherited in the Islamic beliefs as well, that God created humans or Adam, and He asked the angels and everybody to kind of pray for them or bend the knee. So everything is created for us in this universe, and we just and we just need to figure out how to make the best of our existence, right? So cancel those fears, and whenever you get those emotions that you can't control, okay, you can do something about it. You can do something out of the normal. So go talk to a stranger, get to meet a new stranger every day, change your commute route, take a new street, volunteer to some work. So this is more on the extreme, let's say, routine that you can do. The second, um, quick, let's say, actions, if you're feeling emotional or stressed, just move your eyeballs from right to left, right? Move them right and left, right and left. It will help. Practice deep breathing and exercise, or maybe go for a walk outside. Okay, now let's say you're in a challenge or in a situation. Whatever challenge or situation you face, always ask yourself this question: what if? Okay, what if there is a growth opportunity for me in this situation? What if there was something that I need to fix or work on so that I don't need to be in that situation? Okay, so you always use the what if, we call it the what if game. Um, so you look for potential growth and opportunity in each challenge, and then you list specific actions related to what if scenarios. Okay, so you don't think about, okay, what if I'm not going to do this idea, and what if my startup fails? That's the wrong way. What you should say is, are there hidden benefits like networking, other career opportunities, or gaining experience? So if I created my startup, I don't care if it fails, because my journey, I'll be building relationships, I'll be learning new things, I'll be getting things out of my system, let's say, right? I'm getting, it's an experience. So always keep your mind thinking on the positive, not on the negative. Don't allow it to drift to the negative thoughts. Another thing is having a list of to-do actions. So let's say you are worried, you have a negative thought of a client who would reject your proposal. That's fine. Ask yourself, you know, how you should prepare better for it if it happens, and just put a list of action and be prepared. Okay, so tackle it. And in business, we call it eat your frogs. Okay, now success habits. And that's something I'll share with you today is, do you know that we are all success addicts? So we are addicted to success. So when we go and buy our cigarettes or our smoke, our heats, whatever it is, we succeed in buying the cigarette. We succeed in buying alcohol. We succeed in sleeping late. We succeed in spending hours watching TV. Yeah, we're success addicts in general, but we can also succeed in positive things. So what I would suggest for you to do, and it's a nice practice, figure out what are your negative habits. Yeah, and I've listed here some of them, common ones. I sleep late, I smoke a lot, I watch TV, I snap, or get angry quickly. I always daydream. I eat junk food. I procrastinate. I always complain. I always blame others for failures. So those are very common negative habits. And then on a separate paper, list your positive habits. Okay. Generally, what people end up doing because they don't think about or they don't realize their negative habits, they tend to write a lot of positive habits and less on negative habits. And guess what? You're absolutely off. You need to take time, think deep. You will realize that you have so many negative habits that you didn't address in your life. So start doing that now. Take your time, think, talk to your spouse, talk to your children, talk to your friends, ask them. Yeah, they will give you a lot of insights. And then the next step, once you identify both, try to reduce as many negative habits as possible. So for me, for example, the hardest one was to quit smoking. And alhamdulillah, I did quit after 30 years. But as long as you put your mind to it, you will end up changing your habit, and you can do it successfully. All you need to do is just switch it, right? So if you sleep late, you wake up early. If you smoke, then become smoke-free. If you watch TV, do something else. Read, exercise, meditate, etc. This practice alone will help change a lot of things in your life. By the way, I did prepare some surveys and questionnaires, but I will skip them, unfortunately, and just continue with the slides. If you feel that I'm going too fast, please let me know. All right, I'm assuming everything is well. We'll continue now. Insecurities. So there's a list of general insecurities that everybody feels. But there are also mantras that you can counter those insecurities with. Okay. So and you can take screenshots of this slide, actually the next couple of slides. It will help you. And if you can, have your, put them down an Excel sheet and start working on them, that will help you as well in your personal time. So if you're afraid to speak up your mind, go practice effective communication. Yeah, so for me, I have a problem in the pronunciation and opening my mouth while speaking, so words don't usually come out clear. So before this session, actually, I was practicing this presentation with a pen in my mouth. So that's why I'm able to talk freely. Okay, comparing yourself to others, focus on self-improvement and learning new skills. If you have insecurity and you need external validation, well, only care about, for example, Almighty, Allah or God, and follow His path. And remember the promise, right? Overly people pleaser, help only if needed and is for good. So again, you can create your own mantras, so you don't need to go with what's here, but I've put them because a lot of work has been done. Those are general mantras that you can use. Okay, and here are some more mantras. So I'm assuming you're taking a picture. Okay. Now, the 4 disciplines of execution. There is a very famous book called The 7 Habits of Effective Leaders. And because of that book, there is actually a very, very well-known framework. It's called the Franklin-Covey framework. That is mainly really reserved for large organizations and their executive teams. And this is a snapshot, a small kind of peak view of this framework. So the 4 disciplines of execution basically helps you to really focus your attention on getting things done. So I spoke about earlier about focusing on your areas or what you can control. This helps you in a way to kind of reduce what you need to focus on. But then there are additional items as well, or a technique that you can make your focus more, or make your focus sharper, let's say. So when you're putting a goal, focus on what's really important or what's wildly important. So let's say if I have 6 different areas that I need to have my goals for the year on. So for me personally, I have a family related goal, I have a health related goal, I have a financial, I have a career, I have a business. So I have 5 to 6 big goals, but that doesn't mean that I simultaneously go and attack and try to achieve all those goals. So what I do is I focus on the wildest one, the craziest one with the biggest value to me, and I focus on that. And then I shortlist all the relevant activities that I need to do to achieve that goal. Okay. The third step, I create a scoreboard. So what exactly do I need to do? So for example, let's say if my goal is to generate a revenue of 100,000 dirhams by X time, by January 2024. Okay, so what are the actual steps I need to take to achieve that goal? And then in the actual steps, how many clients? Now here you're creating a scoreboard. How many clients do you need to see? How many clients do you need to call? How many contracts do you need to close? So you create for yourself a scoreboard, and then of course you create a cadence of accountability to yourself if you're alone, or to your team. You communicate to them, and you make sure that they deliver on those activities as well. If you don't have a scorecard and if you don't know your numbers, you'll be lost. You'll just be going in circles. The prioritization matrix. The matrix is a tool triangling every activity with a bias towards things that are important but not urgent, which is the second quarter. Okay, so I'll show you that. Okay, so unfortunately, what most people do, they focus on Q1, the first quadrant, which is the necessity. Okay. As well, and that's the high performers, the entrepreneurs mainly, the senior leaders, they focus on Q1. And then you have time when people who really don't know what they're doing, they focus on Q3 or Q4. Okay. But where high performers, like let's say I'll throw some examples, and I'm sure you will agree with me on this. People like Elon Musk, people who are really made it through life and are multi-billionaires today, they focus on Q2. They've identified their purpose on earth, they've identified who they are, they've identified their values, their strengths, what they want to do. They've created their goals based on those, based on their mission, right? And they've worked on achieving that goal or achieving that mission. And they spend most of their time on the activities related to that mission, and which is in the second quadrant, okay, which is effectiveness. Okay, I will pause here because this is a very important slide. I will take questions on this slide. If anyone has questions on this slide specifically. Okay, I will continue then. Now, of course, when you're executing your strategy, there will be times where you're going to feel overwhelmed or stressed. If that's how you feel, maybe the goal is too big. and that you need to break it down. Okay, if you feel discouraged, annoyed, or defeated, maybe because the goal is not set, you didn't lock it in, you didn't write it down, you keep changing, it's still in your head. Yeah, so write down your goals, write down your steps, and execute it. And you can use things like Notion or Workplace, Mondays, or whatever the new tools are. Restless and easy, unfocused and anxious. Yeah, the goal is unclear, or maybe unwanted. You know, it's something that someone gave you or put in front of you, and you feel that you have to do it. Okay, and I recommend taking a picture because I will not go through the rest of the items. Okay, here there are some focus-related tips. So focus on meditation, to help. So basically, a lot of times there's so many triggers that doesn't help us to focus. So meditation is one of them. It really helps. Brain training games for attention span speed. There's focus trainings as well that you can Google online. There are some metacognitive strategies. And of course, lifestyle changes is big. I mean, one thing I got to know is, 15 minutes of sun increases your, not dopamine, serotonin levels. And serotonin it's like a happy hormone that is unfortunately low in this side of the world because we're always indoor, right? So it's good, widely getting used this period. So those are some techniques I think you should explore, Google them, and they will come handy. Now here's the magic. It's about commitment to change. So on a piece of take a screenshot of this slide. I think you should write down what are you letting go of this year. So for example, thoughts, projects, people, negative habits, and on a separate piece of paper, write what will you start working on this year. So hopefully by following those different slides, those different techniques that I went through, you'll be able to achieve your goals this year with a more focused approach and let's say an executable or actionable framework. Thank you, and it's time for Q&A.
Fantastic. Thank you for that session, Amro. If any of you have any questions or to put, please ask them directly in the chat here, or you can message either of us privately as well.
You can talk about not necessarily this. You can talk about fundraising. You can talk about ask questions about setting up in UAE. That's the opportunity that Ignite is giving you. So please participate, take advantage of it. Yeah, I see there's something on the chat. Voice breaking. Okay, that's. Okay. Okay, doesn't seem there are any questions.
Oh, we just got one.
Okay. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, Hemant Kumar or Panchal? Hemant Kumar? Hemant, okay. Can you turn on your camera? Is that okay? Here you go. How are you? Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Walaikum assalam. How are you doing, Amro?
Good, good, good. Okay, so that's a very good question. What I do is that every morning when I wake up, I don't use my phone. I I practice something called gratefulness or self-proclamation. So I have my own, let's say, mantras. Let's say I say, for example, I will always do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and and those are my values, and I will constantly be attached to it, right? And I practice this once in the morning and once at night, so I don't forget.
Okay.
So this will help. This will help, but again, if you haven't gone through a formal framework to identify your values and what your goal is, why are you here on earth? Okay, so it's a tough question that people maybe they die, are not able to even understand or answer this question. So there are frameworks that can help you be closer to the truth. Once you figure that out, then you identify your values, okay, and then you can execute against it. But once you know, it will be very easy.
Okay. Because the challenge what I'm facing right now is that because the world is moving so fast, specifically the AI thing, and the definition what I define today is keep on changing. So it's like juggling that like the definition of mine every time. So that's kind of draining the energy.
And that's what I mentioned. Always write down your goals. They call it SMART goals or smarter. So specific, measurable, actionable, and target. There is a date, right? Put SMART goals, write them down in a piece of paper, okay, and keep it in front of you. So I always have like my notes, I always have it around me, so I don't forget, right? Once you have those goals, then and you have a clear action list, you should be able to execute on them. But again, we unfortunately, it took me 40 years to realize this. We don't spend enough time to understand ourselves or understand why we're here. And because we are all brought up in such a way. We're all brought up to go to school, learn what they teach you in school, and then you go to work and learn what they teach you at work. But where are you, right? Where are you in all of this? And if you can, take some time, look inward, look at yourself, know yourself, understand yourself better, and try to answer this question. Why am I here on earth?
Definitely.
And there are today, there's internet, there's so much content and information that can help you get closer to the truth. Maybe you won't know what your real mission is, but whatever you think you know is good enough. Just do it. Yeah.
I see. And one last question, Omro, that how do we constantly fight the self-doubt? Because that's a biggest roadblock, I would say that.
In one of the slides I mentioned about self-doubt is that we as Muslims, and mostly the monolithic faiths in general believe that we rule the universe. We were created to rule, right? And everything on earth is made for us. Okay. So I don't know. Let me look, piece of paper. I control water. I drink. Animals. We eat. Everything is for us, right? So as a human being, we are above anything else. Okay, we're above all other creatures. So have this in the back of your head. So one, I'm created to rule the earth. Okay, good. And two, I am today here for a reason. My purpose is to find that reason. This understanding these two concepts are enough to give you the motivation to not have any doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and again, in the Islamic faith or the Christian faith or even the Jewish faith, we believe in the devil. So we believe that this doubt is from the devil. He tries to not let you achieve your goals. He always flips the good with the bad. That's his game. So something as simple as we should wake up early, for example, to pray and meditate. No, he makes you sleep late.
Mm-hmm.
So he always switches things. Yeah? So for you, just know those two things. I'm here to rule the earth. I'm here for a purpose. My goal, and in Arabic we call it Sa'id, my goal is to figure out why I'm here. That's it.
I see. Okay.
And this should help you in everything you do. But as long as you know, you try to figure out what you're here for. I'm going to take another question.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Iman. Okay, someone who have been in a career for 30 years and switching to entrepreneurship mode. What are the do's and don'ts and chances of success? Zafar. Okay, Zafar, camera. Can you turn on your camera? Okay, good question, Zafar. Look, you have a lot of experience, maybe even more experience than I do. But one thing I'll ask you, what is the purpose of the startup or entrepreneurship journey that you're going onto? Why? Just you don't need to answer me. Just this is the question that you need to answer before getting into entrepreneurship. Why, and is it benefiting as much people as possible? And is it aligned to why you're here on Earth? Okay? That makes a huge difference because at our age, mistakes are not, you can do mistakes, you can fail, etc. when we're a bit younger, but at that age, it will be harder. So at least get the idea or the concept of the business closer to your passion, closer to your values, and that it benefits as many people as possible. But apart from this, mashallah, you have a lot of experience.
Okay, thank you.
All right, welcome. Okay, Hunt. Hunt is asking if you work in direct market access, real stocks and instruments, trading brokerage platform, who are your targets in Dubai? What do you do to hunt your leads? Okay, Hunt. So Hunt is not your name. Okay, whoever asked this question, can you turn on your camera? The question about finding clients to trade stocks. Christine Mitney. Christine. Okay, I'm going to skip this until Crystal comes back.
I've got a question for you, Amro, actually. So
Yes.
I wanted to ask, in your experience mentoring startups, what patterns have you noticed in founders who are successful in their careers as entrepreneurs?
One thing I can put my hands down and hats down to are the founders that have co-founders. Okay.
Okay.
So this is one key success factor, is that the founder has co-founders and not just a team that they pulled up just to make the pitch deck look good. Okay. So this is one. Two is that whatever they did is relevant to their area of expertise. Okay. So their subject matter, it's matter experts, and they found a solution related to the industry that they have a lot of experience in.
Okay.
That was second. Third is timing. Timing is very important as well. It's not about technology. It's not about how good the idea is. Of course, I mean, if I wear the investor hat, I'll say things like big market, it benefits as many people as possible, the business model, B2B. I generally like B2B more, and a lot of investors like B2B business models. But yeah, I mean, the common three traits are those. You have co-founders, the timing of your project. Three is that whatever you do is relevant to your experience. And don't ask me why I'm doing Nemo, because for me, Nemo is a totally different learning curve. But I'll share this with you. I mean, I've been in banking for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it was the only, I mean, apart from oil and gas in the GCC, we only had real estate and financial services, right? And it happened in my time back in 2005. Banking was the big thing. It was the highest paid salaries, the largest organizations, etc. So I went into banking. And after 20, but I had something in me. Something is telling me, Amro, you know what? You're more of, you know, I always went to do events, speak at events. I had other skill sets. I like to write, so I've attempted to do a book a couple of times, but I never completed. And now I'm almost 43 now. I realize that, hold on, this is who I am. I'm more into training people. I'm more into communicating with people. I'm more into benefiting people, not benefiting off people, right? And I have the skill sets. So why don't I focus in the fourth quadrant? I have all the things that are related to who I am and what I want to be in my quadrant 2. And I just keep attacking them. It doesn't matter how long it takes. So I take things like learning how to do a course online, how to build an edutech, learning about edutech industry in general, public speaking, you name it. So I'm putting a lot of time and effort in that thing that or related to the goal that I want to achieve over the next couple of years. So this is very important to realize is a lot of us, unfortunately, unless you're super lucky and you know you're able to figure out, you know, your what are you here for in a very young age, you need to kind of walk your way through and find what really matches you. You can still do startups, and that's why I'm proud to be called a serial founder. I had multiple startups, but I never found something that really fits me. I created them, I exit some, I didn't continue others, but I kept rolling. I never stopped. I keep looking for what I want to build. But if you want to succeed and you want to save time, really focus on yourself, build yourself first, and then look at creating a startup.
Yes, I'm here. I'm Crystal.
Hi,
Hello.
Crystal.
How are you?
Good, good. Okay, so tell me about your question.
Yes, I'm. As I see that you have a very good knowledge, and thanks for sharing with us. So I wanted to ask you, as marketing and sales, how you can, whatever what you are working in brokerage firm or other, especially in UAE, how do you think the most efficient to have, like, to find leads or to do your marketing research or in selling. What are your advices for someone telling you that I'm working in selling in financial institution, and yeah, this is my question.
I get. Can I ask you where do you work, Kristen?
Yeah, of course. I work in Exante. I think you know Exante. It's like Saxo Bank, IBKR. It's a
Okay.
fintech trading platform.
Okay. Here's the thing. The last thing you want to do, especially for yourself as a salesperson, is cold calling. Okay. The last thing you want to do. What you need to focus on is, okay, let's say you have a target today that you need to make X amount of sales. One is you identify your kind of client. Who are the type of clients who would be investing in the products that you are selling, right? So, and what nationality, what age group, etc. And then look at, so here you're identifying your customer segment, right? And then look at, okay, where do I find them? Are they in, I had an events management company in the old days, before the 2008 crisis, and I used to find my clients in clubs. Most of the event managers love to club, and so I used to kind of build my relationship during clubs, and I used to sponsor the decoration of clubs at that time. So you have your customer segment, you figure out where are they spending their time, maybe in events, investment forums, summits, for example, and you try to engage with them there. But the last thing you want to do is definitely cold calling, and I end up getting out of calls, on random calls. So this is the last thing you want to do, but you need to just have a clear strategy in place, and then prioritize your activities based on what the slides I've shown you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Welcome. Okay, I think that's it. There's no other questions.
If that's all right, Amro, we'll just log off there. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to you for your time and a very, very valuable mentor hour. I know topics like this, resilience, especially in the startup community, aren't very often covered, so I have to thank you for going into such detail with it. And if any of you watching or attending would like to get some more insights, please feel free to book sessions with Amro directly through the Ignite platform. He definitely has a lot to give, a lot of learning from him.
All right, thank you, and have a great day again. Happy Ramadan. Take care.
Thank you, Ramadan Kareem.
Thank you, Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem, thank you.